So I'm going to show you how I would create a visual verbal journal page. Always looking for inspiration in my life and try to document things in my own life for my own personal growth and for future creative projects. It's one of my focuses when I create my visual journal. But here I am today at the Arboretum in Moscow, Idaho, and I've come across these beautiful hostas. And one of the things that captures me about these hostas is one of the things I'm always telling students. There's so many different colors to nature. If you look at a tree, it's not one shade of green, it's multiple shades of green, and that varies and changes depending on the species of the tree, the time of day, time of year. So look for those little subtleties. So here I am, and I'm going to demonstrate these greens that I see. I'm just mesmerized by the variety of greens in these hostas. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to create a page. So I've started here. I have a page in a watercolor sketchbook that I'm going to work on today. And I have already started sketching in. I'm sitting down looking at these beautiful colors of green, and now I'm going to interpret them on this page. But in order to create a visual verbal journal, I am going to add in language and words. And one of the things I'm going to do on this page to incorporate language is incorporate the common name of these hostas. These are all hostas. So they're written in front of me. So I have one here that's called Honeybell. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's going to become a part of my visual here. And I'm using my type in a interesting way. Kind of bubble letters. And then the next hosta that I'm going to draw and paint today is Moonlight Sonata. You can see on that tag. So I'm going to put that down here. And then I've got one more here. I don't know the name right yet, but I'm going to find out the name of that, and then I'm going to incorporate that into my visual. And these are all hosta, so somewhere in here I'm going to also use the word hosta. But to get started, I'm going to show you how I would notice on my palette I only have two greens. I have a blue green and a regular green. So I've come out here with a small portable watercolor palette, drawing instrument, mixing palette, water, brushes, sponge, water. I'm going to show you how I will start working. I'm putting down some washes of different greens. But from these two greens, I'm going to mix about 4 or 5 different greens that I'm seeing here. And this green, the first green I'm going to mix, is going to be the darker blue green. And I can dip into some turquoise here. And I'm going to lay down a light wash on this hosta, because I know I want the Moonlight Sonata to be a darker green. I'm going to lay down one tone for now, and then I'm going to come back and add some darker tones to it. I'm going to kind of work around my letters because I'm going to come back in with a color for those letters. I want to leave some light spots because I see the sunlight kind of hitting it in spots. So in watercolor, leave the white of the paper for your white. You do not generally use white watercolor. Some people do, but it's technically not the truest, purest way to work. Leaving the white of your paper is optimum. This is a different hosta here that I wanted that a different color. Good watercolor paper, you can just pick it up with a sponge if you don't like what you've done. This other hosta is more of a green. I see a little bit of yellow, but I've got to remember to leave that big stripe of white. And a little more yellow where the sun's hitting it. And then for the beautiful variation in greens, I'm going to add a lot of yellow to my green for this honey bell. So I can already see my variations in greens, but I'm going to really punch those up. And what's really going to make them stand out, I'm going to go ahead and go into my background with some really dark violets, blues, Come up here with some more real stark blue-green. A little more green in that. So here I've laid down just some basic colors. I think when at any point I could come in here and I'm going to really pop out my words with some bright color, like a red would look good against all this green. Maybe I'll use orange for the Moonlight Sonata lettering. Little splash of color on the hosta flowers. They don't get much of a flower, but they've got this a little bit of a flower this time of year. It's almost like a light violet, pale violet.